This podcast is brought to you by Legend Comics and Coffee in Omaha, Nebraska, located in scenic downtown Benson. They got a new location. It's absolutely gorgeous. Check it out. And by listeners like you. Go to Patreon/Two-Headed Nerd. Become a patron. Support this show.
Once, they were two best friends managing a comic book store. But when an innocent blood oath went wrong, the two found themselves trapped in the same body, imprisoned in a strange pyramid made of long boxes, buried deep below their hometown, where they are doomed to discuss comic books until the end of time. They were once Joe and Matt. Now they are known as the Two-Headed Nerd. And this is their podcast.
Broadcasting from the Ziggurat at Omaha and caverns deep below the metro area, it is our pleasure to welcome you to episode 789 of the Two-Headed Nerd Comic Book Podcast. I'm your head number one. My name is Matt Baum. Joe, this Saturday is Batman Day, and I got you something very special.
I'm the Internet's Joe Patrick, your head number two, and if it's the Clooney bat suit, you know I'm already sensitive about my nipples, and I won't wear it.
Don't be a baby. Your nipples are perfectly normal. Come on. I mean, they're a little pointy, sure, but they're normal.
It's time for another new comic show where we'll review 8 comics from the past 2 new comic book days. After that, we'll set you up with our must-read new comic picks for next week.
In this episode, the Red Hood gets canceled after one issue. Ben Percy brings the Punisher back to a Marvel universe. Marvel and DC are crossing over again as Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo team up Batman and Deadpool. Iron Fist comes back from the dead with a new look, and Jeremy Haun and Szymon Kudranski give us 2 murder mysteries to solve. It is review time in the Ziggurat.
Before we become the night and start handing out comic book justice, let's explain how our rating system works. Each comic we review is rated using our 3-point scale: buy it, skim it, or leave it. Then we pick the best comic we reviewed to enter the THN Permanent Collection.
1 bat nipple, 2 bat nipples, or 3 bat nipples.
We'll let you decide which one's good
I like the bat
which
nipples.
one's bad. Is the more nipples the better?
Yeah.
Worse?
3 bat nipples is obviously the best.
Okay.
2 is just a normal
All
amount,
right.
and 1 is kind of weird, you know?
Macho, prep the THN mobile, stock our utility belts, and fetch us our review comics.
We only wear 1 belt. We have 2 heads. We share a body. Come on.
Oh, you're right. Sorry,
Come
I
on.
forgot the lore there for a second.
Yeah, there's only 1 steering wheel.
I was too busy counting my nipples.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hopefully, this concludes their nipple talk, but no promises. Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday,
Do you
the
have
10th
an
of
odd number of
September.
nipples as well?
We
Do
begin!
not have the same torso?
We begin with Punisher, Red Band, number 1 from Marvel. It's written by Ben Percy with art by Julius Ota, colors by Yen Nitro. He just sounds awesome. Letters by
He
VC's
does
Corey
sound awesome.
Pettit. Cover by Marco Cicchetto. It is 32 pages. It is $4.99. That is your new reasonable price for a Marvel comic book, by the way. I'm going to read this solicit because the last time we checked in on Frank, he was in kind of a weird place, if you know what I mean.
Literally a weird
Yeah!
place.
They dropped him in Weird World because we couldn't kill him, I guess. Frank is back! Reread and reload. Reread and reload?
Reread and reload, comma, true believers.
I guess. Frank Castle is back. Oh,
It is an instruction to the
They're
readers.
instructing
Reread and
me
reload, true believers.
to reread it and reload my weapon. You know, okay, gotcha.
It is not a description of Frank.
Gotcha.
It is a command to us.
Frank Castle is back with no memories, a full clip, and a thirst for wrathful vengeance. His violent search for answers could be only chronicled in a Red Band series. See, we got Ben Percy to write it, and when Ben Percy writes stuff, it has to be gory. That's just the rule.
Right.
He won't do it. It's in
Gross
his
or nothing with
contract.
that guy.
Yeah, otherwise he's out. Bullets will fly, blood will flow, and the citizens and criminals of New York City alike will fear the name, the Punisher, from Ben Percy, who's been writing Helverine the biggest comic book that I've never paid any attention to, but I will admit,
literally never cracked the cover.
issue
Well,
1 was kind of fun. I just don't know that we need an ongoing Wolverine series.
We sure don't.
And here's a question I have for the Wolverine series that's going to apply to this comic book too. Where the hell does this take place? Where is this?
Maybe the instruction to reread is because by the time we're done, we won't have any idea what the fuck is going on.
Maybe that's it. Because like, as we said, when Jason Aaron last left off with the Punisher, this was after the Punisher became, the bloodied hand of the hand. He was like their god of death on earth, right?
King shit of the hand. Or whatever. I'm sure I think that's the official title.
And Daredevil was trying to stop him. The Punisher was flying. The Punisher had crazy, like ninja death powers.
Magic ninja powers. Yeah.
All they could do was dump him in Weird World. That was the last we saw of Frank. Now,
his wife came back from the dead.
Well, there was that, but they ended up taking care of that too. That got.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Was not a happy ending. So now this Frank is definitely back in New York. I agree with that. The Kingpin is here. Kingpin is acting like the Kingpin. He's coded Kingpin. Tombstone is here, acting very Tombstone. Nothing about this says to me.
Let me bend your brain one further, Matt.
Okay.
The Kingpin makes an overt reference to being the former mayor.
Yes, we're straight out of Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, right? It's right there. Kingpin is the mayor.
It places you in a relatively certain point in Marvel time.
Right. This is not a Max series. This is not an Ultimate book. This is the Punisher in New York. And I'm going to say Ben Percy's story is good. I like this story. It is much better than what we've been doing with his Predator Murders the Marvel Universe. Shouldn't have called it Versus because that is not what's going on. This is violent. It's very gory. The art is very good. Ota's great. Ota's really good here.
I love the coloring. It's very
coloring is
ethereal,
wild,
almost.
Man. Like the flames in the beginning on the boat, which there's like a very Usual Suspects kind of opening with like a burning boat, and we don't really know what's going on. Complete with Frank Castle, who doesn't know what's happening, right? So it's very Kaiser Soze only. Kaiser Soze was faking it the whole time. Shh, spoiler. Frank doesn't know what's going on, and there's a fun twist in the story that sort of reveals what is happening. Other than this being very violent, this could be in the MCU. This could totally be the MCU. So much so.
Not the MCU, the Marvel Universe.
Pardon me. This could be in the Marvel Universe. So much so, they even edit out the cuss words with Grawlix, which is those little symbols that you look at.
Which I don't get that one bit.
Right. You're going to show us people being hacked to bits and put into body parts being shoveled into drawers.
Inside of a guy's skull.
Right. But we can't say.
Well, it's still attached to his head.
But we can't say shit on a panel for some reason.
Yeah.
I
exactly.
don't.
Meanwhile, DC's over there dropping, Red Hood's over there dropping F-bombs left and right.
We'll get to that. There's nothing wrong with this comic book. It's well done. It's very well drawn. I will say, Oda draws those boots real goddamn big, man. Like that Punisher is wearing like Shaq size 14s. They are huge feet. Okay. So hey, man, trying to tell us something.
They're shit kickers.
I liked this. I just don't know where it takes place. I'm giving it a buy it, but I don't have the slightest clue where or when this is taking place.
Yeah. So I think if you remove, I think that there's room for mystery, right? In our comics.
Sure.
We went years and years and years before we knew that Cable was Cyclops' kid, that kind of thing. So you know what? I'll give it some rope, but I want to offer up the first issue of Welcome Back, Frank, as a counterpoint to this issue where the Punisher was dead and he became an agent of heaven, an assassin of heaven. Right? Because nothing says Jesus loves you like a dude with magical guns.
But Garth Ennis let us know exactly where that story took place. And he did it in one sentence.
One caption box in the first issue of his Punisher #1.
I would argue this would be even easier to just be like, it's a mystery because Frank, like you, doesn't know what's going on. We'll figure it out later.
But you know what? Look, I'm willing to give Percy the benefit of the doubt that something like that is probably coming. I think the fact that it is red band, I think calling it a red band comic sets it apart so that you almost feel like it's out of continuity. It would be like if they called it Punisher Max, right? We would assume that it wasn't in continuity.
We would say this does not take place in continuity.
But like Wolverine Revenge did not take place inside Marvel continuity, and it had red bands.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's weird the not knowing, but I'm willing to give Percy some room to weave his mystery. On its own, this is good. It's a lot of fun. It is very gory. And
nowhere, like in their interviews, are they saying this takes place in the 616 or this does not take place in the 616. They're just saying he's back.
What they are saying is Frank is back.
That's it.
Which means we understand that he was gone and now he's not gone.
Yeah.
There's also no mention of the former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that wore a glowing green chest plate.
Oh, he's long gone.
We don't need to worry about him either.
He's long gone.
So this is a buy it. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad that they the letters page is back, which tickles me, including the little like masthead with the cheesy logo and the name Frankly Speaking.
Love it.
Which is awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, it's goofy. It's weird. I don't know where it takes place. We'll see. It's buy it for now.
It's a good Punisher comic.
It's a good Punisher comic, yeah. All right, I mentioned them a second ago. It's Red Hood #1 from DC. Speaking of characters that cuss and use guns. This is written by Gretchen Felker Martin with art and colors by Jeff Spokes. Letters are by Becca Carey. The cover is by Spokes. It's 28 pages for $4.99. That's just such a weird number, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we had to get this done. So
I don't know. It's
at the time, I don't think that was the case.
Yeah. Here's your solicit. It's short and it's worth reading, so I'm going to read it. Jason Todd has left Gotham and Batman behind him. All he's taking with him is his costume, his bike, and a metal briefcase containing 2 handguns and lots of bullets. New Angelique seems like the perfect place for Red Hood to put down roots. There's crime, vice, and corruption everywhere. When Jason discovers a superpowered serial killer who is targeting the city's police, he finds himself sucked into a terrible and bleak conspiracy with seemingly no end in sight. Let's get this out of the way right off the bat. DC chose to cancel this comic just one day after the first issue was released, citing remarks made by the writer about the death of conservative pundit Charlie Kirk. That decision was controversial to say the least. If you want to discuss it, go to our Discord. I'm happy to do it with you. That's not what we're here to do.
Nope.
I was already planning on reviewing this comic. The book already had a couple of strikes against it. First, From the Pages of Hattush is a non-starter, my guys.
I mean, I guess it is
not a good way to sell the book.
Pages of Hattush, but there was nothing about this. I was like, oh shit, that thing from Hattush, you know?
Well, but I mean, it's very specifically references
something that
moments
happened.
from Hush 2, yeah. Second of all, I don't give a shit about the Red Hood, at all.
I don't either.
But I like the artist. Jeff Spokes drew Jenny Sparks,
yes,
I believe was the last thing he did.
Jeff Spokes is friggin' great and does not
very good.
Do enough. Like Jeff Spokes, give him Detective, give him Batman. That guy is that good.
Very good. So yeah, I like the artist a lot. I was intrigued by the new direction, so I figured why not. This issue opens with Jason investigating what seems to be a series of on-camera suicides, and every person that dies is a cop, a member of the or a former member of the New Angelique Police Department. All of the victims say the same phrase right before they ventilate their skulls. They say, quote, "The tower says hello."
Yeah, it's how the book opens, and it's a hell of an opening.
Yeah, it's a hell of an opening. I should be stated for the record, this is also a quote unquote red band comic. They don't phrase it that way. It's just mature readers 17 plus. They didn't wait. They don't have any cute branding for it. It's just like, hey, here we go.
Yeah.
Mature readers comic set in the DCU. Deal with it.
Yeah. Apparently it's not just, we used to have a place for this is all I'm saying. Now they're just aware. Pay attention to the cover, kids. I guess.
You're so precious about putting things in boxes. Like back before there were no boxes at all.
I get that. And then they got the boxes. And the reason they got the boxes is because parents go, what did you sell my kid? And now we're just like, oh, there's a tiny little 17 plus on there somewhere. You didn't notice it? Like, oh, hey.
Now the rating is the box.
I guess.
Anyway, there's obviously something weird going on here. Jason has relocated to New Angelique, which is an obvious stand-in for New Orleans because DC loves their made-up cities. I thought the dialogue and narration was excellent. Yeah. Very noir inspired. Jason meets this local vigilante called Royale for an info exchange.
Who was really
Royale talks
cool.
like Gambit.
It was really cool, by the way, and it didn't bother me as much as Gambit, but it did bother me a little.
I figured it would. He talks like Gambit in that thick, weird accent, but he's dressed in a fancy pants costume, like decorated all New Orleans
Very
style,
Harlequin,
like
if you will. Yeah.
Fleur-de-lis and shit all over the place. Dude looks like a playing card.
He looks like a Harlequin.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I like the twist that Jason doesn't feel like he can go to Oracle for help. He certainly can't go back to Gotham. And we learn why in the flashbacks in this issue. Some shit went down in Hush 2. The good news is you don't have to read it to understand. This story tells you everything you need to know. Had a falling out with Batman. Batman chose the Joker over me. Fuck that guy. I'm not going back. Huntress is also here. I've had a kind of tough time figuring her out since the New 52 did a number on her character. But these two are still the black sheep of the Bat family. It's kind of cool to see them working together. It makes a whole hell of a lot more sense than Jason bumming around with Artemis from Wonder Woman and Bizarro.
Yeah, this is a good use of the Huntress and Jason. They don't know what they've been doing with either one of these characters for I don't know how long, but this is way better than Jason with his hat turned around backwards hanging out with Starfire. Or
oh my God, yeah,
really.
Like
this is at least something clever to do with.
Oh
him.
no, the hat was Roy. The hat was
oh, you're right. That was Arsenal. But Jason was there.
Still though, yeah, better.
Jason was there.
I had actually forgotten about the mature readers thing altogether until the F-bombs started to drop. Like this comic has actual fucks in it. Fucks and shits.
It has fucks given. This comic has actual fucks given.
That's right. But it doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't really. It neither detracts nor adds, really, you know. At least, but I guess the Grawlix would have been like, this tough story has to take time out to cover up the cussing. Well, you don't have to worry about that. Jeff Spokes' art is excellent, especially his use of color. There's this very specific shade of deep red present throughout the entire book. It makes the elements of Jason's uniform pop off the page. And the way he sets the mood of each scene with a relatively small color palette is incredible. This was the start of a really interesting story. It had phenomenal art. It's just, it's a shame. We'll never know how it ends. I'm giving this a buy it if you can find it.
This is a buy
right
it.
now the scalpers are out there.
Well, sure, because it's a news story, which is great, you know, whatever. But this is a buy it. Yeah, this is a good use of Jason Todd and the Huntress. And honestly, I've said things like the best thing Jason Todd ever did was die. And I still stand by that.
Oh, I stand by it, yeah.
This is a good use of this character. That's all I've ever needed. That's it. And this book looks great. It's a buy it. It's too bad we're not getting any more. The Iron Fist can now call himself a Marvel zombie, just not that Marvel zombie. This is the Undead Iron Fist, #1 from Marvel, written by Jason Liu with art by Fran Galan, colors by Jim Campbell, letters by VC's Travis Lanham, cover by Will Sportacio. It is 32 pages for $4.99. There was a time in Matt Baum's life where he would look at Will Sportacio comics and say, these are the best comics I have ever seen. God damn, I love Wetworks. Give me more. And then I saw this cover.
Point of order, my friend. I told you, 2 weeks ago.
You did. And to my credit, I was looking at a variant cover for issue number 1.
Okay.
This is not good. And I would love to have a discussion, perhaps in the Gang Hang, about how to talk about, the pitcher that has lost his fastball in comics, right? Like what happens when an artist...
Your Frank Miller is
should we have printed it? I don't know. It's not great. Here's your solicit. The Iron Fist rises. The book of the Iron Fist declares that every Iron Fist will die by the age of 33. But who wrote... It's supposed to be who created this false prophecy, but they left wrote in there. Danny Rand was killed. But can you truly kill an immortal Iron Fist? Learn the truth about the legacy of the Iron Fist as Danny Rand rises once more to snuff out those that threaten that legacy before Danny's time runs out. We got a new look, we got a new hook, and we've got a return to Danny Rand as Iron Fist. New mission, though. He's kind of fighting demons in this book, and it looks great. Fran Galan. The thing that Ed Brubaker and David Aja nailed about their Iron Fist run, which is the best Iron Fist run, there's no question, was the way the martial arts looked. They looked awesome. And here, Fran Galan is doing a take on that, but it's a very mystic take. Like Danny's power looks different. His hands are glowing purple. He's got a metal arm. He's wearing a great new mask. It's more like a hood that covers his whole face. It's very cool. He looks like Bandito from AEW for all you wrestling fans out there. It's awesome. But the martial arts is also a little more mystic. Like he is literally punching demons out of people in really cool scenes. That was so
cool. I loved that.
It's great because there's like a demon inside of an old woman, and the Iron Fist can't just haul off and give him like screaming tiger fist of Kunlun to an old woman because she'll explode. So he has to be careful.
Yeah.
So he's doing magic stuff, and it looks really good. And I like this new take on Iron Fist. It's fun, and it's a good way to do something with a character that died. And I'm fine with seeing the immortal Iron Fist crawling out of hell. Iron Fists do that stuff. I believe it. He had immortal in his name at one point, right? The twist being they're all supposed to die at 33. That's what we learned. And we're finding out, well, maybe that's not always the case. And somebody did that on purpose. So my guess is they don't get too powerful or something. There's a return of an old character here that I really liked. Miles Morales shows up for reasons, but I will say Fran Galan draws the hell.
He's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's in Brooklyn, and that's fine. And Fran Galan draws the hell out of Miles and looks like he wants to draw the Miles book so bad. He's really good at it.
I wish he would.
This creative team is setting up a new status quo, and it's fun. There's a mystery behind why Danny's here. There's a mystery behind the new look. We're all figuring it out. The only thing I had a problem with, the very opening when we see Luke Cage walking up to Danny's grave and he's so upset, he falls to his knees crying. And then he's like, oh, wait, there's a giant square shaped hole here where the coffin used to be. It's like,
you
didn't notice that, bro? I also don't buy that he's just going to break down like that. It's been a little while. I know they're buddies.
I think it's a very dramatic, very cheesy moment, but like, you had to have seen that hole.
It's a big hole.
From halfway across the cemetery.
That is a big hole. I'm giving this a buy.
Yeah.
I like where they're going here. I think Lou's got a good idea. I really like Fran Galan. I really do. And I think we're going to see a lot more of their name.
Yeah, Fran Galan.
No, we shut that down, remember? And we apologized.
Sorry. I think this book looks great. I love the art, and that for me was kind of going to be the sticking point because I really don't love the cover. I am not as big a Portacio fan as Matt is, but I like right from the jump. I was like, "Oof, that looks rough." Yikes!
It's just not good.
Thankfully, the inside art, the interior art is a whole lot better. Galan draws a kick-ass Iron Fist. This is great. Jason Liu obviously has a knack for this character. I hate Miles's new costume. That is nobody's fault that worked on this book.
It's not Fran Galan's fault.
I'm just stating it for the record.
I don't disagree. But it's not great. The new costume is not
this
great.
This is a buy it from me. This is really, really good. And I wasn't really expecting it to be that great. So
Nice to have Iron Fist back, though, and a good way to do it.
It is, man. I think, you know what? I'm sold on his new look, though. Like,
it's cool.
I love the metal. The metal
cool.
arm was working for me.
The design is cool. I have no idea what it's about. We're going to find out.
The popped collar, his chest tattoo's a little bit different since
man.
he's been dead.
Everything's a little different. We're going to find out.
Fucking rad.
You don't listen to true crime podcasts, do you?
Well, I don't, but that's just because
they
I don't
scare
really listen
you,
to a lot
right?
of podcasts.
Just admit it. It's just an unsolved mysteries thing. You're afraid the bad guys in your backyard. Just admit it. Robert Stack's creeping you out. The killer still hasn't been found to this day, Joe Patrick. And
Fine. I'm a big old baby.
He was last seen at your grocery store killing your grandparents.
The last true crime podcast I listened to was Serial, and I only listened to that because the guy was still in prison.
Not anymore. He got out.
Yeah, I know. Come and get me, Adnan Syed.
Settle down. Watch what you ask for.
I'm kidding. I'm sure he's a very nice man. We're talking about Murder Podcast number 1 from Ignition Press. You may have heard me mention this a couple weeks ago. I gave them the shout out. Jeremy Haun and Mike Tisserand, both friends of the show, did the story and art. Colors are by Nick Filardi. Letters are by And World Design. Covers by Haun and Filardi. Jeremy Haun, he an artist too.
Great cover too. 22
story pages for $4.99. Here's your solicit. Fans of true crime podcasts are noticing brand new episodes of a show they thought was over appearing in their feed, but when they queue up the first episode, they find themselves overtaken by a murderous urge, one that only stops when the killer is stopped, leaving a gruesome death toll in its wake. For Mina and her friends, these killings are just another topic of their daily gossip, a potential new case for the next true crime show they can't get enough of. Yet, as the killings get closer and closer to their own lives, it's becoming clear that there is more going on below the surface than any of them realizes.
This is exactly how our show is going to end, right?
Yeah, one of us is going to be murdered.
Both of us will be murdered after our listeners get a weird episode and come kill us. That's what's going to happen.
Oh.
The end.
This book opens with a beautiful half-page spread of a home nestled into a wooded neighborhood somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, I believe.
Yeah.
They don't explicitly say, but the radio station they all listen to, like where the public radio the station that sponsors the podcast they all love is in Seattle.
I'm saying this is like a Ballard neighborhood outside of Seattle or something. That's my guess. But
yeah, I mean, I've never been there, so I'll take your word for it. At first, the art is serene and idyllic, and then it swiftly becomes shockingly, terrifyingly brutal. Tisserand does a great job illustrating how people in the podcast's thrall kind of like disconnect from reality. When you see it happen to them, there's this cold, detached look on their faces, almost like they're looking through their victims. Like they're not looking at anything.
They're gone. Like I'm looking at the panel right now where she goes from normal human being that's like making a smoothie to gone.
It's such a subtle change, at least at first, in their expressions as they go in and out of control. It's just really, really well done, because there's that last in this opening scene with the first murder. The lady is checked out, and then her eyes only shift down slightly to look at what she's done, and you know that she's back in. And it's just an incredible bit of storytelling. Aside from the expressive characters and the horrific violence, Tisserand's backgrounds are also excellent. Everything in this book feels like a real place. It probably is real. They probably are real places, but like based on real places. Like there's a place there called the Regular Market or the General Market or whatever, and you see it in the background. It's based on a real public market in Seattle. You can match the pictures up. They look almost the same. The art does a lot of heavy lifting, but Haun's script is no slouch. All of the characters feel genuine. They all have distinct voices. They sound like people I actually know, or at least like the most relatable characters on a really well-written show. There are interesting hints about something sinister, a group that knows something about the power that the podcast has on its listeners. We only get the barest hint about what that is or what that will mean. I am hooked. Not only is this the first collaboration between two dear friends of THN, it is also the debut release from brand new publisher Ignition Press, the very first comic that they put out. They are coming out of the gate strong with this one. I'm giving it a buy it. I really loved it.
I also really like this. I think it was really smart and it was well done and super well paced. And I'm finding more and more.
The pace is very good.
All of my favorite movies that I've seen this year have been horror films. And it's not just because I'm a sicko. It's because they've been really good movies. And the best part of a good horror film is the pacing. Like I just recently watched Bring Her Back, which is mortifyingly terrifying. It's so good. But it tells a real human story before it gets to that thing, right? Where you're just like, oh shit. And it opens with an oh shit moment, just like this one does, brutal murder. And then it goes to very human. I like these characters. I'm rooting for them. I want to see what happens. And then back to, oh shit, the character I like is now in that horrible position, which is great. They've done the work and they're studying. Tisserand looks fantastic. I really enjoyed this. Nice first shot from Ignition Press. Welcome aboard. And you couldn't have joined the comics market at a better time. There's so much money in comics. Okay. Welcome aboard, guys. Good to have you. This is a buy it. I'm excited. This is a buy it.
I mean, it's not just because you're a sicko, but that does help.
Sure, being a sicko helps. I love me some gore. I'll be the first to admit it. And Tisserand, he studied his gore is brutal in this one.
Everyone loves a good murder mystery. I'm not sure how healthy it is to love gore. Perhaps we could explore these feelings later, Sir Matt? Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday, the 17th of September.
Maybe you need to stop judging people and talk to someone macho. Think about that for a minute, huh? Anyway, let's talk about No Man's Land, #1. From Image Comics by Szymon Kudranski, letters by DC Hopkins, who sounds like he rides behind the bandit in a semi truck and tells him what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Eastbound and down.
Yeah.
Fun fact. DC Hopkins is also And World Design. Who lettered. Murder Podcast.
All right, DC Hopkins. Good for you, man.
I think DC Hopkins is in this episode at least 3 times.
Sick of VC and their gang getting all the lettering credits on the show. I dig it.
Yeah, man.
I like it. 40 pages. It's $3.99. A brief solicit because this one needs some setup. Diomede Islands. For 3 months each year, you can walk from the USA to Russia across an ice bridge, a frozen path known as the Ice Curtain. This is real, by the way.
Yes, real true fact.
In 1963, when the body of a young woman is discovered on this icy no man's land, the already fragile relationship between the superpowers threatens to collapse. With nuclear tensions rising, an FBI agent and a KGB operative must solve the murder before the ice melts and war ignites. Szymon Kudranski is a creator. He's a singular creator. There's nobody like this guy, and he does it all. And is
in fact the name of his
one man
shingle
art
is One Man Band.
No, it's One Man Art. Is what it's called.
One Man Art.
Yeah.
All right, One Man Band.
He literally calls his production One Man Art because he's doing it all. The only thing that he didn't do here is the lettering. And I'll tell you what, this book looks absolutely incredible. I know I say this every time we review one of Kudranski's books, but it's because it's that good. You may recall me gushing over his Something Epic book a while back.
Well, I think he's getting better is the thing.
He just continues
because the guy consistently puts out content.
Yeah. And now here, he's not doing the big, insane, kind of dreamy stuff that he's done. This is mainly black and white. There is some color where blood comes into the frame, and there's some color in a flashback where we see the main character speaking with his wife. But for the most part, it is all black and white and done in heavy shades, beautiful lighting effects, mixed with these scratchy kind of photo negatives that have real world images of propaganda films and maps and photographs of real people. It's very heavy government conspiracy, murder, Cold War story. It's an impossible case, right? And we've got our star, an agent that is about to retire. Literally, the book opens with him in the restroom going over the speech that he's about to give his boss.
His speech,
yeah. And he walks in, his boss is like, shut up. You got one more. Actually, his boss is like, are you sick? Do you have cancer? And he's like, no. And he goes, okay, then I got one more case for you. You can't quit yet.
You should have had cancer.
Yeah, it's great. Really good setup. And it's like, is it kind of a well-tread setup, like with that one more case for the agent that was about
I mean, he's too old for this shit, right?
Right. But it really works well here because of the art. And again, the pacing. Kudranski's pacing is so good, setting up this super creepy, bizarre, like impossible ritualistic type murder that you're not going to be able to solve. And the FBI is basically like, well, you have to, because it could start World War III. And next issue, we're going to meet that same KGB agent that's in the same position. Neither of them want to be at like the coldest tip of Alaska investigating this bizarre murder, but this is the job. This is what they have to do. And it could not be more beautifully illustrated. This is a massive buy it. There just aren't a lot of people that are putting comics out like this right now. Kudranski just seems to get better with every book this dude puts out.
I agree. And I don't always love every book he puts out, but that's not because I don't recognize his talent. It's because I'm not always interested in what he's doing. This I find very interesting.
This is a departure. This is definitely a departure for him.
But also, it's like, it reminds me of stuff from like the early 2000s independent boom, where we started to get Oni and small press stuff like that, because this is like right out of a whiteout.
Sure.
Like Greg Work has, I can't believe I never thought of that kind of thing.
This is also like,
or 30 Days a Night. Where it's just like, I can't believe nobody had this idea before.
It's a perfect storyboard for an FX series that I want to watch.
I mean,
right
this is
now.
essentially this is essentially the most recent season of True Detective. My only complaint, and I didn't have any problems at all with the translation. I think that sometimes less is more when it comes to scripting. There are a lot of words in this comic, a lot.
I don't disagree, but I also think
I'm not saying I'm not going to make any judgments about what could be cut. Like, I'm not going to make that call. I'm just saying, like, maybe give it another look, see if you can be more economic with some of the writing.
I don't know, because a lot of it to me read like briefing. Like, you are literally being briefed by the station chief as to everything that's going on. He's reading briefs, and this character, this is what he does. He's super analytical. It's why he's good at his job, because he reads everything, absorbs everything, and understands it. It felt like an Oliver Stone film to me, which is also very wordy, right? So I didn't have a problem with it. It felt like you're getting the full case file, right?
Yeah, I don't want to go so far as to say that I had a problem with it. I'm just like, offering a critique. One other positive thing I wanted to say that I forgot a second ago is that he uses the 2-page spread in a way that I have not really seen or appreciated since Bendis was doing Powers. Cool. Bendis and Oeming were doing the earlier days of Powers, where you're doing a 2-page spread, but it's not a huge splash of action. It's a series of tiny panels that you read left to right across 2 pages instead of 1.
I was going to say
like that scene with his wife.
Yes. I was going to say like a J.H. Williams book almost, where it's just
J.H. Williams III. Sure. Man. Same deal. Like the way he uses the pages. Brilliant work. This is a buy it for me. I really loved it.
God, we got like 3 murder mysteries. I didn't even realize.
Why?
Murder!
You know what? Didn't
It's
we have
always
that
our
episode a while
theme.
back where we just accidentally chose all comics about serial killers?
I think that was like 2 episodes ago, to be perfectly honest.
It feels like 2 episodes ago, yeah. My next murder comic is Good as Dead #1 from Image/Skybound. It's created by Chris Black and David Alpert. I don't know what that means. Written by David and Maria Lapham. Art and letters by David Lapham. Colors by D. Caniff. Cover by Lapham and Caniff. It's 48 pages for $7.99. And here is your solicit. I can tell Matt is Googling because I am very confused by the creator credit.
Chris Black was one of the writers of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the Apple TV Godzilla show. And David Alpert is your CEO of Skybound.
The Emissary Bridge has always connected the citizens of Port Linden to hope and opportunity. But when one man shockingly sets himself on fire, the bridge now brings something else to the town. Certain death. As the town's lead lawman, Sheriff David Calhoun will need to stay one step ahead of the forces looking to take his town apart. If he has any chance of bringing the truth to light, he'll need to expose generations of secrets while outrunning death itself. Is there sci-fi shit going on? Is there supernatural stuff? Or is it just the weird fucking crime shit that the Laphams have built an entire career on?
I think it's all of the above.
I don't know, but regardless, I am pretty hooked. The story has so much character and world building packed into one issue. Yes, it's a 48-page issue, but still. There's whatever's going on with the crazy professor, the shitty family of corrupt business people that run the town, the deputy and her romantic drama, the sheriff and his strained relationships with both his wife and his conspiracy theorist sister, not to mention the bizarre twist about the sheriff's health and the man in black wandering around town that clearly knows something about what's going on. There are so many moving parts.
This is what the Laphams do, right? I mean, like, I know this was created by other people, but I guarantee the Laphams are the one that, like,
oh yeah, man,
made it nuts.
You don't go to the Laphams and not expect their expertise in weaving.
See their Stray
like
Bullets, for example, and you should read that if you have.
Yes, you should read Stray Bullets. Holy shit. Every separate piece is compelling on its own, and it's even more interesting when you start to wonder how it all connects. David Lapham's art is really good. He's the master of this kind of slice of life style, but with a grittier edge. Everything's kind of dirty, kind of gross. The backgrounds are beautiful as well. This is a good week for comics with great background art. Good as Dead #1. It's another solid entry in the Lapham's library of sordid quirkiness. I guess they don't get full credit because of these other dudes, but still, I loved this. I have no idea what's going on yet. I'm definitely invested in seeing where it goes from here, though. This gets a buy it.
Yeah, this is outstanding. And I'm not just saying it because I am such a stan for the Laphams, but I love the art. I love all the moving parts. I love the sort of, there's almost like a nod to the Mothman prophecies kind of going on here or something with the bridge.
You know what?
That
It
collapses.
felt like a season of Fargo to me. Where
Yeah.
there's so many different characters, but they all kind of link together.
Yes. And there's something going on there, and it's slowly going to come together. And it's my favorite kind of weird crime drama.
Yeah.
That the Laphams do. I'm in. Like they had me with their name on the cover. I just love David Lapham's art so much. This is a huge buy it, though. I'm really excited about this series. I think Fargo is a perfect example of what this feels like. Nice call.
Fargo, if, bridges exploded out of nowhere.
A weirder shit has happened on Fargo. There were UFOs on Fargo, Joe. Okay.
That's true. And they never, ever explained it.
Nope.
Drives me crazy to this day.
I know we swore him off, but we're giving him one more chance, Alien Comics. All right, let's talk about Exo Manowar, #1 from Valiant/Alien, written by Steve Orlando, with art by Guillermo Fiardo, colors by Laturo Fatuli, with flats by Ludwig Olimba. We got a flatter here. You don't see many flatters getting jobs.
Yeah, you don't. I love it when the flatters get credit.
Feed your flatter.
Job.
All right. They're having trouble making money right now. Feed your flatter. Letters by Ezekiel Inverni. Cover by Ariel Olivetti. 32 pages. $4.99.
I love Ariel Olivetti.
I do too. And it's a hell of a friggin' cover.
Yeah.
Pay attention to this. Here's your solicit. A new era of superhero storytelling begins here. So, as you may or may not know, Alien took over Valiant. They're giving everything these new jumping on parts right on the friggin' cover. It says
it is a reboot.
New origin. New starting point. New. And then the solicit goes on to say, the mighty Eric of Dacia, a.k.a. Exo Manowar, traverses a deadly wasteland filled with mutated horrors in search for honor in this can't miss debut issue from Steve Orlando, yada, yada, yada. So, not a new origin. Not a new, like, it's still Eric of Dacia.
Hold on.
He mentions the Visigoths.
But that's like saying... I understand, but that's like saying this is a new it's Captain America. It's a new origin for Steve Rogers.
Sure.
Steve Rogers is still always going to be
I don't have a problem with that.
World War II.
But
Exo Manowar is always going to be Eric of Dacia.
But to keep your metaphor close to this, that'd be like, it's a new origin for Steve Rogers. And the first thing he does is mention that time that he fell into the ice when he was trying to save Bucky on a missile and he froze. And the Avengers finally like, is that a new origin? Or did they just move the time around? That is not a new origin. A new origin for Captain America and Steve Rogers would be like, lightning struck him and he got his powers. That's a new origin.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Fair, I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
But the setting for this is completely different than what we have seen.
I don't disagree, but we've done that in Exo Manowar books plenty of times too. This is effectively a character that like doesn't die. He's traveled time. His life is extended by the suit and stuff. So you can tell this story, and I would argue they are telling this story without changing this character at all. Arik is completely recognizable. He's still a gigantic badass. And I'll say Fiardo draws the hell out of him. He looks great. He's barely in the suit here, and I like that aspect. One of my favorite things about Exo Manowar is before he even got the suit, this guy was Conan the Barbarian badass. Like, you don't mess with Arik from Dacia. He will murder you badly with his hands. He is a big, tough guy, right?
Yeah.
And he is saying, I am Arik of Dacia. My people died 2,000 or more than 2,000 years ago. I am a Visigoth. Right. I am saying this is not a new origin from what we're getting so far. Is he in a new place? Yes, he's in a Mad Max kind of hellscape. He's fighting some Mad Max kind of baddie looking dudes. He meets some other dudes that are sort of have their own community, and he saves a family and brings them in. But it's like this all felt very familiar. If it doesn't say new origin, it doesn't say new story, and it did say new jumping on point, that's the only thing I agree with. This is a new jumping on point. Yes. There is nothing that is different. This is like that Bloodshot we talked about, where it's
but the marketing is not really the fault of the writing.
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is. That's a totally different thing. And I think Alien has completely mishandled all these Valiant books.
Well, I agree with you.
Now, I will say this is a good Exo Manowar story. It's
okay,
well
there you go.
Written.
Like I wanted to get into, I want the comic to be judged on its own merits.
That's where I'm going.
That's what I'm thinking.
Steve Orlando understands the job, takes care of it. I don't know if Steve Orlando even knew this was going to be a brand new origin, brand new jumping on point when he got this job. To be perfectly honest, there's a chance they didn't even tell him. Right?
I mean, who knows?
Because it reads like a perfectly good new start for Arik of Dacia in a new setting. Really good art. I like Fiardo a lot. I think he's come a long way since I've seen his art. He's gotten so good. The violence here is great. The fight scenes are great. The armor looks different. That's the main difference. The armor looks totally different.
Because it's new.
But everything else is completely coded Exo Manowar. So I don't know what's going on. I'm giving this a buy it. It's a good first issue. And it's a good setup. And Orlando does a great job with the dialogue. I mean, yes, it is very Mad Max. And that's what we're doing here. Fine. There's some weird stuff going on with possibly someone who has an immortal alien nose. I'm not real sure.
Look, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. There's a character in this book who says he is inhabiting the space on a man's face where the nose would be. He is shaped like a nose, but really he is some sort of symbiotic life form.
But also the comic is full of crazy people, so we don't know. I mean, right?
Well, yeah, this is what he says.
Yes.
Right. It's what he says.
I will say the design of the new armor is cool. I'm into that. The design of the new bad guy is truly terrifying. I like that. Art's very good. Good story. Giving it a buy it.
You mean that will obviously become the bad guy?
Well, sure. I'm giving this a buy.
Oh, no, you mean the guy at the end.
No, the guy at the end. Yeah. The guy at the end with the terrifying
with the
gimp mask and stuff, which again, very Mad Max, but I got a soft spot for that shit. I'm giving this a buy it. I still do not trust Alien, and I still think they're doing a terrible job of this marketing. And this is just going to confuse people who are mad at Alien books and mad at We're Valiant right now, but fans of Exo Manowar might skip this. I'm saying don't. If you want to read a good Exo Manowar story, this is a good Exo Manowar story. Don't worry about what it says on the cover, and I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah. You know, I'm conflicted about this one because I agree with you. I think that there is so much here where it's like this could just be another adventure of Exo Manowar. For as different as this is from the last thing that came before it, and as different as that was than the thing that came before that, they could all be labeled new origin, new starting point, whatever.
Sure, you could
that one where he's like off in space, like Exo Manowar Reborn or whatever it was called, the one that Liam Sharp did.
Loved it.
I forget what it was called.
Oh, I loved it.
But I mean, that could have been like, you could have told me that was a brand new reboot for Exo Manowar, and I would have been like, yeah, okay.
That's the beauty of Arc of Dacia. You can literally put him in any story and tell that story. And that's what makes a great character.
The problem with the marketing is they want you to believe you're coming in like it is a completely new concept, but that's sort of like expecting a comic book about a new starting point for Superman and not having it be about Clark Kent.
Right.
This isn't Dacia.
This isn't,
there are certain trappings that are always going to be.
It's Bloodshot, but he hates trans people now. Like that was a new origin.
Right.
I don't like it, but if that's like that is a new origin.
I mean, if the extent of your new origin is that you changed the name of the organization that turned him into Bloodshot, you didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And this is similar. All you did was move forward the timeline. All the stuff that we read about with Eric's adventures with the rest of the Valiant universe in the past could have still happened to
Absolutely.
This character. We don't know.
You could even say, well, the armor evolved since then. I don't care. Fine.
Right. I mean, but none of that is really important. The important thing is it is a good jumping on point. It is a good story. The art is fantastic. I'm going to give this a buy it as well. I agree with everything you said. I think Alien books has been bad for Valiant.
Yeah.
But even a broken clock is right twice a day. They lucked into this.
Well, I mean, like, look, Steve Orlando, great writer. We like Steve Orlando, so makes sense.
You know what? I'm curious to check out the Harbinger one that came out last week. It was written by Fred Van Lente.
My guess is these were books that they had online, they had lined up, and they were just like, we'll use those in the relaunch too. Who cares?
That's just it, right? Is that the stakes are so nil at this point that this could be a failure and nobody would care.
Yeah, save them, IDW. Come on, or save them, Dynamite. I don't care.
Somebody, please.
Save Valiant, please.
Please rescue the Valiant properties.
Come and get your boy Valiant. Your boy Valiant's having trouble here.
Reunite them with the Gold Key characters.
For
so
God's
that we can
sake.
Get Solar Man of the Atom and Magnus Robot Fighter up in this piece.
Yes, do it.
Yes, let's make it happen. Our Our last comic book for this week is the bafflingly titled Marvel/DC: Deadpool/Batman #1.
File under M. Obviously.
Right, absolutely. If they put a colon in that means that Marvel/DC is part of the title.
There you go.
It should have been Marvel and DC present Deadpool/Batman #1. Make it classy. This one was published by Marvel. The other one that will be Batman/Deadpool will be published by DC. This is written by Zeb Wells and various art. Assume that there's a various after all of these. Art/pencils by Greg Capullo, inks by Tim Townsend, colors by Alex Sinclair. Letters, in this case, only 2 letterers, VCs, Clayton Cowles and Joe Caramagna, also a VC. Cover is by Capullo, Townsend, and Sinclair. It's 64 pages for $6.99. Now, I'm going to read this entire solicit because the stuff at the end of it, I didn't want to waste time in our review talking about it, really. So here we go. Wade Wilson has been hired for a job in Gotham City, but will the world's greatest detective help him or destroy him? End of main story solicit. The one-shot also features additional backups, spotlighting other exciting characters, yada, 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 including Daredevil and Green Arrow by Kevin Smith and Adam Kubert, Captain America and Wonder Woman by Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson, Jeff the Land Shark and Crypto by Kelly Thompson and Guri Hiru, Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern by Al Ewing and Dyke Ruan, Old Man Logan and Batman The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller.
Sure.
And surprise, this was a shocker. The news only was announced after the book came out today. The return of Amalgam Comics by Ryan's North and Stegman.
For the
Exciting
record,
times.
Matt Baum called this real
I
big
called
time.
this.
Nope. You were like, I hope they will. And I was like, I 100% promise you they will.
Then we both called it. Come on. Look, crossovers are back, baby. And your boy Joe Patrick could not be happier. The premise is very simple. The Joker hired Deadpool to kidnap or kill Batman. It's unclear, but he wants to double dip on the clock. So he goes to Bruce Wayne thinking that he's a corrupt billionaire that might be in the market for having a rival get whacked or something like that. He's like, you're a billionaire, right? You need some hooker taken care of. You never hired your butler to hose down the backseat of your Bentley. There are a few throwaway lines about the Joker needing to outsource to another universe to find Deadpool, but the way Wells plays it, he could be telling the truth or rambling like a lunatic. It honestly does not matter what the logistics are. Wells's dialogue for Deadpool is hilarious. Jokes are flying fast and furious about Bruce Wayne being a secret eyes wide shut hooker murdering sicko. Batman's whole shtick obviously being an elaborate joke. Commissioner Gordon's habit of sneaking smoke breaks in between panels, which was a clever way of getting in that fourth wall break without really doing much about it. And Joker's shapely backside. Now, you might be asking, Joe Patrick, what makes that joke land? Where Kevin Smith's joke about Joker's ass from Batman the Widening Gyre didn't.
No one's asking that.
I'm telling you, it's because Wells knows where the line is. It's funny to say that the Joker has really good looking glutes after using the cosmic treadmill to find Deadpool. It is not funny for the Joker to present his backside to Deadshot so he could penetrate him in the most notorious of body cavities.
Okay.
To phrase it in Kevin Smith's own words.
Clutch your pearls. Okay.
It's not funny and you know it. I'm not offended. It's just stupid.
I mean, as a Kevin Smith super fan, I think you just don't understand Kevin Smith, I guess.
Okay. The simple story, it's over before you know it. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Nobody needs this thing to be stretched out to fill the entire 48 pages or more. Capullo is right back at home in Gotham City. The work has a bit of a softer edge here than it did back when he was inked by Danny Miki during the New 52, but it is still outstanding. He draws a great Deadpool too. Very silly, very animated. The backup stories pad out the rest of the length, so the issue is just full of stuff. They are all at least sort of fun. Even the incomprehensible Frank Miller one, which is the weakest of the bunch, I'll admit.
The Frank Miller one is incomprehensible. It's incomprehensible,
but it is kind of
and again,
fun to see.
Drawn with his feet. It is not.
It doesn't look good. That's true. It's not a good looking.
It is
story,
not good. It's bad.
Yeah. And I love that they all play with a different type of intercompany crossover mechanics.
Yeah.
You've got characters that are separate but in the same universe, like Green Arrow and Daredevil, that coexist but have never met. You've got characters that are in the same universe, but their histories are intermingled, which means like you got your Avengers in my JLA and vice versa. And surprise, surprise, straight up Amaglam shit with the dynamic debut of Logo, who is a mix of Lobo and Logan.
Thank you.
Stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, but that's what you do with this, right? That's exactly what you do with this.
But that's what you want.
Right.
That's what you want.
That is
like
the
Ryan
assignment.
North and Ryan Stegman are in on the joke. They know what they're doing.
They get it. That's the assignment.
Yeah. Like Lobo's gigantic meat hook claws thing times 6 and fired from Wolverine's fists. That's what we have here. This one shot was everything I wanted it to be. I loved it from cover to cover. If this one was as good as it was, I cannot wait to see what batshit insane stuff we get from the Grant Morrison one in, I think, December. This is a huge buy it. I adored it.
I was not looking forward to this at all. And I had a lot of fun here because they're not taking it too seriously. And that's all I needed.
You can't.
That's all I needed.
Yeah.
If we're going to do this for 64 pages, let's have fun doing it. And they had a ton of fun doing this. Frank Miller thing aside, this was this was just fun. And I really like honestly, the Kevin Smith Daredevil Green Arrow thing was probably my favorite of the backups. It was great.
It was awesome.
And Andy Kubert drawing it. Good Lord. God, I love that guy.
Yeah.
And please just give him a monthly goddamn comic. Even
like the Wonder Woman Captain America was like really touching.
It was great. The Jeff the
Rocket Raccoon and Hal Jordan was hilarious.
Jeff the Land Shark and friggin' Crypto was the cutest.
So cute.
Like this was just fun. It was fun. It was well done. It was 64 pages. They got it done. These could have all been miniseries. Think about that. So if we're pulling the trigger,
in another time, they would have been.
Yes. If we're pulling the trigger and we're just doing it and we're getting it done, this is the way to do it. You have my blessing. Well done, Marvel and DC. I'm giving it a buy it. And that's a guy that does not need these crossovers. Okay.
And I need them like I need the air that I breathe.
Oh, settle down.
That is it for our reviews, but we want to know what you thought of these crossovers, reboots, and murder comics, as well as anything else you're reading over on our Discord, where we talk about new comics every single Wednesday. But before we shift gears to next week, we need to pick one of these to enter the THN Permanent Collection. Matt Baum, what's it going to be?
Mine is Good as Dead, #1. We read a lot of great stuff, but
I was thinking you were going to pick No Man's Land.
I really like No Man's Land. I really liked it, but I love the Lapham so much. And I think Skybound is putting out such high quality stuff. And it's not just G.I. Joe and Transformers. They're still telling original stories that are great. And there's not a lot of places where I think the Laphams can put out a comic book like this and get this kind of attention and just be allowed to work. They're letting them work. First of all, I love that they're a married couple. Second, I love the way they tell stories. Good as Dead, #1. I think I'm more excited to read more of. No Man's Land, I want to watch that FX miniseries right now, and I'm trying to cast.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to cast the two old guys that come together to solve
Manifest.
this guy.
Yeah. My pick is Deadpool Batman. It's got to be. I was so happy with the way it turned out. I was excited for it to begin with. It was exactly what it needed to be for me. It's going in the permanent collection, no doubt. But holy smokes, was it a good week for comics?
It really
Wowzers.
was. This was a good 2 weeks. Good 2 weeks for comics.
Good 2 weeks. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We do them 2 weeks at a time. Don't forget that. The is time to head to the THN Sanctum Sanctorum to make our must-read comic picks for next Wednesday, September 24th. Joe Patrick, if these nerds can only pick one comic book up next week, are you sure you want it to be The Flash number 25?
You know what? I do, because there's some good stuff coming out next week, but not a ton of stuff I'm super duper excited for. Like, there's a new Skybound book coming out by Kirkman and David Finch.
Yeah.
I just don't really care about it. Like, looking at it, it's not necessarily something I'm gravitating towards. But The Flash 25 is the end of Cy Spurrier's run on The Flash, and hopefully something that will set up the next run, which is by returning Mark Waid and another writer who I am forgetting, and I'm sorry.
Oh,
but my pick for next week is The Flash number 25 from DC, written by Cy Spurrier with art by Vasco Georgiev. It's 32 pages for $3.99. Know that it is the conclusion of the Bad Moon Rising storyline, which has been the Flash family versus Eclipso, but like Eclipso with godlike universe-ending powers. It is brain-bending in the best way. I didn't know what to make of Spurrier's take on the Flash when he was getting started. I stuck with it. I was glad that I did. Now it's coming to a close, and I want to see how he wraps it up. It has truly been a mind-bending run of comics. I can't deny it, and I don't blame anybody that fell off of it, like I assume Matt Baum. But yeah, it's good. Cy Spurrier is a good writer, and I've enjoyed his take on Wally.
My pick for next week is Viking Moon number 1 from Image Comics by Joe Pruitt with art by Marcelo Fruzen. This is the true story, Joe Patrick, of why Vikings fled North America. There were werewolves there.
Whoa.
It's basically the story of how in 1003, Leif Erikson established a Viking settlement in North America, only to find out that there were werewolves there. Vikings versus Werewolves by artist Marcelo Fruzen. I am 100% down with this. The art looks absolutely incredible. Eisner Award-winning writer Joe Pruitt and legendary artist Marcelo Fruzen. Come on. Vikings versus Werewolves. What else do you need? I'm in on this one. Let's go.
I mean, you don't need much. You don't need much.
Excelsior! Oh.
That is it for THN 789. If you dig our new comics reviews, check out our YouTube where I am plugging in previews of the books we're talking about so you can actually see the art that we are referencing. You can also subscribe to our shows separately. We got a back issue show and a gang hang. We do gang hangs on Saturday. We'd love to have you there. Of course, you can listen to his podcasts on YouTube Music or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please rate, star, subscribe, do all the things. We need your help.
Next week, the Back Issue Show returns with part 2 of our deep dive into Peacemaker, Volume 2 from 1988 by Paul Kupperberg and Todd Smith. 2 either geniuses or madmen. You decide.
I think we dove a little too deep because I hit the bottom of the pool and I have a big cut on my face.
Yeah.
You were not supposed to be diving into water this deep.
But we dove that far for part 1, so we've got to dive at least that far for part 2.
Now we're going to dive in again.
If you need more THN before that, join us for the THN Gang Hang on Saturdays at 11 o'clock Central Time. You can check out our Discord for details at twoheadednerd.com/Discord.
THN is a listener-supported podcast. There are no ads, and it would not be possible without the generosity of donors like our buddy, local artist, and fellow podcaster, Jesse Kiefer of the Grawlix podcast. We just talked about Grawlix and defined them in this very show.
Jesse is the reason why we know what that word means.
It's true. If you support the show like Jesse and you've got a filthy mouth just like Jesse, you can hear this week's extra where we are counting down our top 5 underrated Bat characters. They can be heroes or villains. It is Batman Day this Saturday. We are taking the spotlight off Bats for a minute to talk about characters like Orpheus, my number one. I'm kidding. No one likes Orpheus.
Oh, man. I want you to defend Orpheus so bad.
No one can defend Orpheus.
Orpheus sucks. You can sign up.
Oh, sorry. If you want to hear that extra, sign up to be a patron over at patreon.com/2headed nerd. It only costs $1 because we're bad at capitalism.
Look, we would love for you to give us more than $1, but we understand that, you get what you pay for.
Unless we make them, they won't. So.
I know, but at this point, I kind of feel like we can't change it, so... Before we go, our weekly shout-out goes to the stars of the hit HBO Max series The Penguin, Kristen Milioti, who won the well-deserved Emmy for lead actress in a limited series at this Sunday's ceremony, and Mr. Cobblepot himself, Colin Farrell, who was totally snubbed. Better luck next time, Oz.
Well, didn't he win last year for stuff? I don't even understand how the Emmys work. I don't even know.
Well, no, The Penguin was only up for Emmys this year. It wasn't up for Emmys last year.
I don't know. Until next time, true believers, remember to pre-order your comics or your retailer might tell everybody you are not, in fact, wearing a fat suit. You're just that fat. This is the Two-Headed Nerd.
Hey.
Signing off.
Fat shame, first of all. Second of all, Colin Farrell has won plenty of awards. He don't need any more.
Well, he thought he was going to win when he put on that fat suit. He did.
True, he did. Nobody goes full Nutty Professor or Mrs. Doubtfire if they don't think they're going to win some kind of award.